President and Vice-Chancellor, as public orator, may I present Bernard Greaves, a candidate for an honorary degree. What is the essence of life? To serve others and to do good. That quotation is generally attributed to Aristotle, but whoever said it first, we can be absolutely sure that it applies to Bernard Greaves, who has given his life to helping and campaigning for others. Bernard was born in Staffordshire. His future interests were perhaps foreshadowed in his parents. His father was an architect and prominent independent local councillor in Stoke-on-Trent. His mother was active in charitable work. Bernard went to school in Wales and Cambridge before being awarded a diploma in architecture at Cambridge University. Unfortunately, he could not then start work as an architect. He has a health condition which has always kept him from full-time paid employment, so we will never know what fine buildings he might have given to the world. But architecture's loss has unquestionably been society's gain, as Bernard has been able to dedicate himself to an exceptional series of volunteering and public service leadership roles, greatly exceeding what most of us could hope to achieve in a working lifetime. The list of his contributions to the charitable, voluntary and public sectors, largely unpaid, is so long it is necessary to be selective. He has been an outstanding figure in Leicester's voluntary organisations, first chairing the Leicester Volunteer Centre for 10 years, and then helping to bring about its merger with Voluntary Action Leicestershire, which he later chaired. VAL, as it is known, is now one of the largest and most effective voluntary sector support organisations in the country, with 77 staff and a turnover in excess of £3 million. In 1997, Bernard was one of the founders of the Braunston Partnership, which he subsequently chaired. He led this unique community-based and voluntary sector-led regeneration partnership in securing over £59 million of government funding for the regeneration of the Braunston area of this city, defined at the time as the most deprived community in the East Midlands. It is not therefore surprising that Bernard's expertise was in demand from public bodies. He was Vice Chair of the Leicestershire Community Health Council for 5 years, an independent member of the Leicestershire Police Authority for 6 years, introducing a number of organisational changes, and chaired Leicester City West NHS Primary Care Trust for 5 years, overseeing the introduction of a strategic programme to renew health and social care premises across the city. Bernard served on the Board of Age Concern for the City of Leicester from 2004 to 2007. The talent he had previously shown for bringing about productive organisational change, he again showed here. He helped to secure its merger with the Leicestershire County equivalent and has been a trustee and director of the merged Age UK Leicestershire and Rutland since 2007, the largest local Age UK organisation in the country. These achievements alone would justify his place on this stage today. But Bernard also merits our admiration as a pioneering activist in the field of gay rights. It may be difficult for many graduating students today to appreciate what it would have been like to be gay at their age in the early 1970s, when even the use of that word to refer to sexuality was still not commonplace. Bernard has been a campaigner for LGBT rights for over 45 years, making him one of the first openly gay campaigners. As early as 1971, he gained press coverage when he drew attention to illegal police operations in Cambridge to entrap gay men using public toilets. It is evidence of the changes to society to which Bernard has contributed so much that gay police officers now take part openly and in uniform in pride processions. Later in the 70s, Bernard was prominent in the Liberal Party. He was the director of the party's internal education campaign on gay rights, and he briefed senior Liberals on the high-risk gay sexual behaviour of then-party leader Jeremy Thorpe, not knowing of the impending scandal involving Thorpe's relationship with Norman Scott. Bernard rightly takes particular pride in the fact that he was the first openly gay man to hold national office in a UK political party, as Director of Policy Promotion to the party's national executive, another voluntary unpaid role. In this position, he planned the party's 1979 general election manifesto, the first by a UK political party to commit to legal equality for LGBT people in the criminal law. In 1979, Bernard moved to Leicester and was immediately involved in gay support and campaigning. This was a few years before the first clinical observation of AIDS. He ran the Leicester Gay Line, initially from his own home. When he arranged for a public service announcement about Gay Line, it was the first LGBT organisation to do so on British television. 2,200 calls were received over the first 6 weeks, and 10,000 over the next year. Bernard's drive and persuasive powers ensured that the organisation outgrew its domestic premises as he generated funding from government and city council. Gay Line developed to become the Leicester LGBT Centre, still going strong as one of the few in the UK. Bernard continued to be involved with the centre until recently as its treasurer, and his exceptional history has been recorded as part of an Untold Stories oral history project. His political engagement in LGBT+ education and lobbying has also continued. He had an active role in the Liberal Democrats nationally throughout the 1990s and is now a patron of LGBT+ Liberal Democrats. Bernard believes that, now near equality has been achieved in law, the challenge is to ensure that LGBT people receive equal and appropriate service from all service providers. Bernard has made valuable contributions to the literature on community politics and gay rights, and the plot of a novel is already taking shape. In 2015, he received a Leicester Pride Unsung Hero Award. Today's award demonstrates that Bernard's heroism, his dedication to the gay community and to so many other communities are no longer unsung, but are openly and fully acknowledged. Mr. President and Vice-Chancellor, on the recommendation of the Senate and the Council, I present Bernard Greaves that you may confer upon him the Honorary Degree of Doctor of Laws.
Congratulations, Bernard. It's so well deserved. Really. Congratulations.
Thank you, Nigel, for that remarkable oration about myself. I still find it hard to believe that I'm standing here in the footsteps of so many great people who've been honoured by this university. But it's not just about me. This award has a great symbolic significance for LGBT people. Many of those people don't know the extent to which this university champions LGBT issues. They don't know that it holds the archive for Joe Orton, the outstanding young gay playwright half a century ago who met his death through murder. They don't know that even now this university is helping to raise funds for a statue in his memory. They don't know the work of the Department of Criminology in pioneering work on homophobic and transphobic hate crime. They don't know of the efforts of providing for the welfare and support of LGBT students on the campus. But many of them have noticed the award I'm getting today, and it is of great significance to many of them as an affirmation of the commitment of this university to LGBT issues. And I know that because many of them have said that to me. But also, in another sense, today is not really about me. It's about all of you down there. Whatever I've achieved, and most of it has actually been with the help of other people, it's not all my own doing, whatever I've achieved, I hope you will go on to achieve things as great or greater than I have in your lives ahead of you. But at a more personal level, this award has a significance for me that very few people realise, and I will share with you now. When, on a hot June day, in June 1971, I walked down to the offices of the Cambridge Evening News with my file of evidence about illegal police entrapment of gay men. I thought that would be the end of me in politics and in public life. I thought it would damage beyond repair, maybe, my professional future. And indeed, later that year, my college, St John's College, Cambridge, refused to readmit me to complete my academic course. So it means something very special to me to be honoured in this way by one of the leading universities in the world. So thank you very much for that. But it didn't turn out as badly as I thought it might. The first thing that happened was the Department of Architecture invited me back to complete my course attached directly to the School of Architecture. So the academic sacrifice, potential sacrifice, never took place. But perhaps the biggest change that it brought about, that's hard to quantify, is the change in myself. I was not openly gay when I undertook that campaign. I was angry and distressed at the absolute outrage of policemen concealing themselves in the roofs of public toilets to spy on the occupants of cubicles below them. And those are not just gay people, that is anybody using a public toilet. And I was so upset and so angry, I thought that had to be exposed. And to my surprise, I got enormous support from the local press, and my friends rallied around me in a way I'd never expected. Nigel has outlined how that has moved on through the rest of my career, but the change in me from being a closeted young man, afraid of my own sexuality, living a double life, thinking my sex life was a bit dirty and nasty. I was suddenly thrust into the limelight, and everybody knew that I was gay and I didn't have to say it. And over a short period of time, I became immensely proud of being gay and immensely proud of what I'd achieved in that campaign. That gave me a confidence that's never left me, to stand up for what I believe in and to campaign to give a voice to so many people in our society whose voice is never heard, people who are disadvantaged, people facing deprivation. Now, sometimes people think, well, The gay cause is one. We have equality before the law. Well, as you look around the world, it's self-evident that that's not true. But also, it's not true here in this country and in this city. I'm aware that the more that people are disadvantaged and marginalised, the more being openly gay they see as a threat and a danger, a fear of rejection by those closest to them. So many of those people from disadvantaged and poor backgrounds, people from ethnic minorities, people from Eastern Europe, are not confident and bold about being open about their sexual identity or their gender identity. Many of them remain in the closet, bottling up their own feelings, and that is destructive of the soul. That leads to loneliness, isolation, and poor health, and sometimes early death. Now, if there's a lesson for all of you, it's not about gay rights. What I would say to you, whoever you are, whatever your background, whatever your identity, be proud of yourselves. Do not be afraid to stand up for what you believe in. And if you want to change the world, my advice is go to the top in any organisation that you're involved in. People at the top, they very often feel isolated themselves. They feel cut off from ordinary people. Very often you'll find those people welcome you and listen to you, and may even take note of what you say. So after today, go out into the world, be yourselves, and enjoy life as I've enjoyed my life.